I wish good things to you who is watching this. Quarterfinals, Poland is playing Ukraine. Here you can see the lineups. So they have just started and made a couple of moves. There are two duels that we're most interested in. Is of course the two world champions from Poland, Tomasz Preuss and Maciej Polak over here, versus the two Ukrainian leaders with the screen name Lawyer and Dreer. Occasionally we're going to have a look at the other parts of the Ukrainian lineup, specifically the player with the screen name Neanderthalic is pretty interesting. That's their newcomer, so they, I assume, expect some high expectations from this player. But let's start with the highest rated players for both Ukraine and Poland, with Maciej Polak and the player with the screen name Adrier, and then let's see how they're doing. Oh, so they haven't even started yet. That's interesting. I mean, they're supposed to be starting now, but since they haven't, let's just use this time to remind everybody of the format of the championship. So it's played, each match is played 5-on-5, and then each duel, so each encounter between two players is played as a best of 3. So it's done until 2 victories. If you've seen any of the previous streams or the championship, you kind of know how this works. And in case you don't, let's just enjoy some high-level Carcassonne we're expect to see here. So, as we can see, the Polish player who's starting now and gains advantage with the 4 points is slightly higher rated than the Ukrainian player, but you know the difference is pretty close. If you trust the ELO system, this difference of 60 points represents I know about a 55% chance for the Polish player to win. Of course, if you use just the ELO numbers as the guide. Alright, so now we already have some tension over here with 3 cities, and now the Ukrainian player has a decision to make. Does he put this city over here or over here to the left? So of course there are a couple of benefits. One is that if you secure your cities, you also attack the opponent's city a little bit. On the other hand, you want to take advantage of this free city cap piece lying around. But now that I think about it, I like placing this triangle over here, just because harassing this meeple does have some value, and you don't want to get your meeples tangled. This is I don't know, like, how do you, this is just not a good move. So you're, and of course the the Ukrainian player just gets lucky, but I see, because that was the kind of intention that he can sort of eat up this meeple over here. Wow. It is going to be an interesting game. So the Ukrainian player is drawing tiles on demand, apparently knowing something that we don't. And let's see how the Polish player counters that. Well, actually it doesn't look that bad, interestingly. It's just because the Polish player did complete these 3 small cities. The Ukrainian player completed this 1 big city. So, you know, I guess everything's more or less fine. Well, here comes the Ukrainian player with an interesting non-standard move over here. So normally when you start a city with a city splitter, you want to be turning the city cap to a way that's somewhat restricted. So the standard move would be to start a city here, but to turn the city cap kind of that way, perhaps, so that your opponent doesn't get an easy city. But I think the thing that the Ukrainian player is counting on here is that he could use this cap for blocking, which he does not. Ooh, check this out. This meeple might be restricted here with 6 points. Yeah, Polish player does not having it easy. Well, manages to sort of save this meeple a little bit, start a new city. But then the Ukrainian player will keep pounding the attack for sure. Also, there's an interesting aspect of the situation that yeah, these two meeples are entangled, and kind of if the Polish player is to finish this city, then this spot will become vulnerable. This is vulnerable. Everything's vulnerable. I mean, okay, how do you win this if you're Matse? Really not sure. So probably if you are blue and you're already ahead 12 points and you're ahead in meeples 6-1, and it's not like the black meeples are doing much, then what you can do is just simply keep racking up quick points. However, this monastery, it's a real tough choice. So you could grab 3 points over here and then open an attack on this spot. The downside of this move is relinquishing the potential of the monastery and also expanding this field a lot, which currently, well, let's say it's more likely to belong to the player with black rather than the blue. Of course, the upside is the 3 points and the attack. An alternative that blue could have considered is placing this over here and just simply starting a monastery. Interesting. What's a indirect attack? So here's what's going to happen. The Ukrainian player is going to finish a city, drop a field meeple, block this spot, and then connect his field meeple through here. And black, as we can see, is betting everything on the field. Also, I'm getting comments that the image is a little bit unstable. I think it should be better now, but in case it isn't, I'm also recording this, so you should be able to see everything in high quality. Yep, that's what I was saying. And now if the Polish player wants to save the spot, which I assume he could kind of want to, he would have to limit this place to a simple city cap like this. But there's only one city cap anyway, so he decided that it was not worth saving. Instead, he went to equalize the blue city. All right. Now Ukrainian player has an interesting choice. Do you start a 3-point road? Do you start a 4-point road, which is vulnerable? Do you go for blocking over here? Or do you go for blocking over here? Probably a decent way. Yeah, that's an option. Ooh, nice. So a potentially 5-point road over here, because, you know, this is unblockable and there's a 97% chance of the Ukrainian player finding a straight road to fill this in. Also nice tile for the Polish player, protecting this city. Protecting this road, excuse me. And actually, this is a move from the Ukrainian player which I do not like at all. So it kind of looks like you're blocking this meeple, right, to a 50%. But actually, this meeple really wasn't getting out a lot without the monastery anyway. So since the blue player is ahead by so much, what they're doing is that they're giving chances to the Polish player. If black draws the remaining monastery, then this tile will be extremely valuable for him. I know there is a 50% chance of it happening, which is fairly a lot. It's something that you're very happy with when you're behind. And then he just puts it over here. And what Adrier did, he added 1 extra point to this prospective monastery. So this means that when black draws the tile, he'll possibly be able to score the 9 points immediately. Yeah, I like this move from the Polish player. So it's kind of, it's really now making an interesting thing. So both it constricts this a little bit, then it makes sure that this road meeple does not get these points for this road, so that he does not connect through two curves. And also, it does increase the value of the remaining monastery with the road for blue. But the thing is that this is something that the player with black should be happy with. He's just increasing the variance for one tile. Okay, he's saying let's really make it 50-50. You know, if I get the monastery, I benefit a lot. If you get the monastery, you benefit a lot. And then of course his hope is just that blue is not going to get the monastery. Yeah, the Polish player is getting some tiles with which you have to be really creative in order to extract any value at all. So I see several potential moves, but really one, I think, just adding this guy over here. Okay, this one I did not quite understand. I assume he wants to protect his field, but I feel like protecting his field is not at all that necessary. Because it seems to me that blue does not have intentions of attacking this field whatsoever. And in fact, this is how blue wins the game. He just says, okay, you know what? I'm going to connect you. You can have these 15 points. 15 points are still not going to win you the game. Because blue is so far ahead on the scoreboard, and he could still use these remaining meeples, you know, to take this ruin over here. Maybe like find a field for a 6 point or so. Oh, okay. Interesting situation where there was nowhere to take 2 points with this road over here. So if you're having this tile, actually one really move that you should be considering a lot when you're playing a player who's invested a lot into the field is to start a counter field. And I see a spot for it over here. For example, you could drop the divider here, drop a field meeple, and then hope to develop this into a 9-point field. It's not an ideal field. Yeah, this is also an option to start a new city and then also pre-build a ruin for yourself. Normally, if there are ruins lying around or long roads lying around, then the player with the most meeples is interested into keeping these incomplete features and making them grow, because blue is much more likely than black to be the one who grabs this 5-point ruin, which will be 6 or 7-point ruin at the end of the game. And you know, that's a lucrative enough move, something to spend your last couple of meeples on. I have to say, black is getting tiles that are very difficult to play. Like, instead he chooses to dump them. Because black doesn't have any meeples, he can't take the 7-point city. Oh, and black loses the coin flip, and with that, I'd say chances to win this game. I just can't see what black can do, so this meeple is now trapped. This city, there are no dividers left. And yeah, black will just end up spending the rest of the game with one meeple. So with one meeple, what you can do is just... okay, you can do something. You can take this straight line and put this over here and try to attack this city with extra value, but that's not possible. Yeah, another quite inconvenient tile for Turan, and yet again blue draws the quick points that black needed very much. You know what? Unless you don't have any objections, I suggest that we can kind of start looking at other games, really, because I think there's just no way how black wins this. Well, you know, the Polish player got at least a couple of quick points now, but that, of course, will be nowhere near enough. And if you're Ukrainian player, you could actually even grab this ruin over here. Although you don't want to be expanding this field, but what does it matter? Okay, so blue is at plus 24 on the scoreboard. These two are equal. For the monasteries, black has plus 3, so it's plus 21 for blue. Well, these cities have not yet merged, so let's say it's plus 17 for blue. And this field's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's interestingly how at this point blue is only at plus 1. But of course, you know, blue will get more points because it has more meeples. That's an interesting move by blue. This is something that I like. Okay, this one, I mean, my Russians, I understand. I call this the Ostrovsky move. Ostrovsky is the Russian playwright who basically, I've told this story before. Так не доставайся же ты никому. Like, there's a famous play where the final line of the main character before he shoots the bride who rejected him is like, then let nobody have you. And this is exactly what black is doing. He says, you know what, I don't have the meeples to take this rune, but let nobody have this rune. So he made sure that it's actually not possible to take this with any tile. Ah, nice. I mean, black is trying to get some chances here. So he will add 7 points with this move, and it's something. Also, interestingly, with this move, yeah, I think he's kind of crawling towards the city. He's trying to add this to his thing over here. By the way, but this move, of course, gave 5 points to Blue's Road, and that's just really so much. Actually, that's surprising. It looks like the game will be, I mean, Blue will still win, but it looks like the game will be closer than we might have initially expected. So, depending on the number of curves remaining, there's a couple of moves that Blue might be considering. One is just placing this curve over here, and then just hoping to get another curve that connects these two fields. So this little bit. Of course, if there are any straight lines remaining, but I don't think there are, he could try to equalize this roads, because it looks like it's worth 8 points, so it's pretty important. Instead, he chose to take just 1 point for his monastery, apparently calculating that this is not worth it. And what a tile for Blue, grabbing this 7-point city. And now Blue will even get a like 5-point monastery either over here or over here. Of course, here the monastery will be 4 points, but he'll be adding points to this monastery as well. Well, Black did get some luck in the end, in the sense that Blue did not get to complete his city, and Black kind of managed to add a lot to his field. Also, interestingly, Blue did not get a straight line to put over here, which benefits Black because Black gets to score for this city with both with this farmer and with this farmer. So he will score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 24.4 farms. And now quite a, yeah, not the best tile for Turan over here. I guess he'll just grab 4 points. Almost making him wish that he had taken back his move that restricted this ruin. Interestingly that nobody took his ruin. Also very interesting that blue did not manage to join to this city, so black preserved the +4 over here. My estimation is that blue won with something like +5. Am I correct? +2. Oh, I see. Like it will show that the game looked closer than it's seen, but in fact, black really needed the miracle to win here. And you know, good job for trying to fight back. And as we see, the extravagant and I'd say very, very risky strategy with this city over here paid off for blue, and then blue won this coin flip over here. So yeah, well done, Adrier. Shall we stick with this pair? Shall we look at other ones? Well, actually, first of all, let's just check how the score is doing in other places. So, ooh. No, that's the wrong Scuti. So he won the first game against Lawyer, against Yaroslav. Really 1 point difference, so just symmetry, as we can see. So we could look at their second game, but let's just run through the other things real quick. Neanderthalica now playing against this player whom I'm not familiar with, Carcassonne 123, from Poland, and Ukraine was winning. What about Ukraine's captain Sergei Zaharenko? And they lost, so it's currently 2-2 after the first game, I think, unless we missed anybody. Whom did we miss? Wait. And Krzysztof 258 won again. Very close game against Fan Alex. Alrighty. I suggest that we just simply watch the second game of Adrier, just because they're about to start. But if there's somebody else you'd like to see, then please let me know. Also, I see that there's quite a lot of you watching now, so just gotta remind you, like, to like and stuff. This really helps. Remember, we need to get somebody into competitive Carcassonne who would find this stream through the YouTube algorithm. That's the goal. Either today or another day. So like, subscribe, all helps. Fan Alex, and let's just see where they're at as well. I'm just gonna try and like monitor them a little bit. Okay, if safe start in 5 minutes. Actually, yeah. Oh, they just started. Perfect. Let's watch them instead, because here's already some kind of development. You know, we would need to spend some time into figuring out the game. So let them play out this, and let's watch. Let's watch Alex over here. Interesting. We have monasteries, already lots of them, this kind of monastery district, and these things compensate each other. Also, somebody here clearly made a mistake in not meepling this monastery. You meeple, I don't know who that was, but you see now it's worth 8 points, it will be worth 9 points. And the Ukrainian player already here with the advantage, I'd say even though black has these two monasteries, the Ukrainian player has more meeples, is the first one to take this juicy field, and now he'll probably expand his field and also score 4 more points. And he even has the meeples to double down on this field, which I absolutely will do. However, excellent time. The tube extender for Krzysztof is exactly what you want. And now, if you're Alex, probably you might be thinking that you want to fight for the city. No, not so much. It's a very open game where a big incomplete city is not going to be worth as much as farms. So if I were the Ukrainian player, I would put this tile over here or over here, possibly over here actually, to just have more scoring potential, and drop a field meeple. Ooh, this is going to be really powerful. Because let's say if now Fan Alex draws something like this, he puts it over here, and at least for the time being, this one tile will give him 10 points. 4 for the city, 3 for this field, 3 for this field. Yeah. Krzysztof, I think, with a slight misstep here. I do not think you need to... Well, exactly that. With such a tile, you want to clean off a city cap and not let such a lucrative move for green. Green with another misstep here, actually. Of course, you want to... Yeah, that's exactly what happens. You want to be... To take off this meeple from the monastery, not this one as well. So green had a choice which monastery to complete, and of course you have to complete the one that's not next to the opponent's stuff, and definitely not the most vulnerable one. Also, yeah, and also I think of both players playing too fast, especially Krzysztof, because like at least as you see, Alex is thinking now, and probably he's going to start a new city somewhere, possibly here or just here elsewhere. Well, Krzysztof manages to save his city, which, by the way, I wasn't a huge fan of this move, just because, you know, there were still many tiles remaining that fit here. Well, yeah, it's only a 50% chance now for the green player to complete this monastery, but if he does that, it will bring extra value over here. Okay. Good tile for Krzysztof. Although, I mean, this will be quite a powerful ruin, but definitely, if you're green, it's better to give your opponent a ruin rather than a quick 8 points. Not sure about that move. Nah. I think yellow is trying too hard to complete this city, but that's actually not his win condition. Generally, if you have splitters, you want to wait for a better tile. I think a good move for yellow was to put the splitter onto his field like this, and then just try and add more city caps and more city caps, because yellow has a good control of this field. And now it's worth only 12 points. If this is connected, it will be 3 points. It will be 6 points per meeple, which is really not that bad. But if he would add a divider and then finish these two cities, then this would already be worth 18 points, and which is 9 points per meeple, which is much more menacing. And also, if you have this kind of ruin, really, you don't want to be spending such a valuable tile on this. So still, this spot is vulnerable, right? And I mean, Krzysztof is very likely to block it. And if you want to give a shot and like create a threat of the city being completed, then triangles are much better tiles to do that than city caps. Because there's still loads of triangles in the game. There's 7 remaining triangles in the game. And when you add a triangle to a city like this, then you make sure that there are no attacking points. While, let's say, if yellow is lucky enough to grab something over here, which he is now, then there's still a possibility to block or to join, but not now apparently. So you see, as I said, triangles are good, but I have a feeling another triangle is coming. Almost. Oh, by the way, as we listen now, so eventually the Ukrainian player did listen to my advice, and he did throw another divider to his field, which is good, and managed to complete his monastery. And I don't know, kind of we just keep watching one-sided games. And we already have a decisive result. Thank you for letting me know. Neanderthalic won against the Polish player, the sort of who's relatively rare on their lineup, Carcassonne 1-2-3, 2-0. The second game won by a tie, probably in a dramatic fashion. But so far, it looks like the Ukrainians are headed for the upset. Even though the Ukrainians convincingly won their group, I mean, I thought Poland was still like the team to be feared for this championship. So they need to come up with something very quickly. Good move over here by Green, managing to prevent this city from completion, but just as a result of this threat, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So it's a 9 points. 9 points is like a field with 3 small cities, so it's perfect. Now we can start thinking about how yellow is going to win this game. I mean, how green is going to win this game. For yellow just needs to things for stay as they are. Yeah, green would need to get like massively lucky. I guess they would need to connect these field. I don't know. Well, they would need to finish this city, which still can happen. I think there's one tile remaining that fits here. And then either tie this with 2 meeples, then they would also need to get this. I mean, a lot of things really need to go green's way in order for them to win. And it just doesn't look like it's happening too soon. And that's one way to do it. Grab a city for yourself. That's good. Green taking advantage of the fact that yellow did not notice these 3 points over here. No, I do not think that yellow did not notice. I think yellow wanted to try and like start blocking this spot and just keep the 9 points for himself. This is a level of greed with which I can empathize, although I'm not sure if it's exactly necessary in this game. I think when you're ahead by this much, you want to have a strong hold on this field, even if that means not scoring twice for these cities. I guess we're gonna see some kind of blocking attempt. The Ukrainian player will need to spend some time on, you know, calculating the options. Just checking the number of remaining triangles and triple cities, and it looked to me like the other way of blocking was the way to go. But sure, why not? Will he re-attack this city, though? That's a good question. Interestingly, this is still up in the air. just adding another potential city to his field. That looks decent to me because there's still 3 tiles actually that fit here. That's a very good move by yellow. This move, it's inexplicable to me. Like, I think if you're, why do you do that here? If you are green, you need to put this over here and score 2 points here so that you can connect these 2 fields. And because like I guess you can, like, if you somehow miraculously finish this city, then I can see how Krzysztof might win against 1 field, but against 2 fields. Yeah. Now we have the last meeple on the monastery, which I think is a good move. I mean, I can always empathize with meepling a monastery. Not the best tile for Krzysztof. He could consider fighting for the big fields, if it exists. Of course, Alex is not going to connect here. He's just going to maybe just bother the city a little bit. Two more tiles remaining for it. Oh, there was actually a path. So had Krzysztof drawn this tile and then another city, like, he could actually have completed this. I mean, it's not going to happen, but that's interestingly so. So this strategy was good in the sense that he was trying to make something happen over here. Yeah, of course, now Krzysztof will do this. Alex managed to draw the tile that Krzysztof needed, and now Krzysztof really doesn't need this tile anymore, because completing this city doesn't give him much. But because of the city over here, it's interesting how I think the game actually wasn't decided until the very end, and I like how Green managed to find this opportunity for risk. It just didn't work out with him. All right, so we're gonna find out this score difference pretty soon, and congratulate the player with the yellow meeples. So it's a comfortable 15 points. Yeah. And I think that was it's 1-1 in their game. So you see these kind of dividers like this at the start of the game, they can be really powerful because you can get a lot of potential field points. Even though you're leaving 2 empty city caps potentially for your opponent, it's not such a big deal, because when you're leaving 2 empty city caps, there's only about a 20% chance that your opponent will end up taking both of these cities. Or maybe it could be 25 or something like that, but no more than that. And when your opponent takes a city, he only gets 1 point because the city's in your field, so he scores 4, you get 3. But if you get the city cap, as the Ukrainian player did over here, then you immediately get 7 points. So yeah, these kind of moves can be very powerful. And yellow managed to exploit this advantage to the max. We have a city with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A field with 8 cities. So this 12 points per meeple. This is a lot of points. All right, well done, Alex. Let's just see where we're at in the other games. Whom shall we watch next? Perhaps we can stick with those, but we just need to do a quick updatey thing. So yeah, there's a decider here. Huh. Adria weren't... Oh no, Adria's still playing. Wait, is that a time thing? He says we could play, but okay. Ooh, so it appears that Adria won the second game on time because Matsei conceded the game as required by the rules. Because like the situation looks, I mean, it's 9 tiles until then. Nothing's really decided. Yeah, that's very interesting. So it's 2-0 for Ukraine. It's a must-win territory for Poland. One with lawyer. Okay, I mean, we have to watch this, right? Or do we? Yeah, let's actually have a look at this decider. It's only the end of the game, but you know, this could be where the match gets decided. So the Polish player has to win this to leave their team a chance. At first glance, it looks like this is exactly what's happening. Roughly equal on the scoreboard. Some fields that are shared. A lot of shared features. A lot of blocked features. 2 blocked field meeples, 1 city that also appears to be blocked. Just everything's blocked, but the Polish player has a meeple to spare, and they will probably end up using it to score some points. So depending on the remaining tiles, which is exactly what the Polish player is thinking about, they could just simply grab this city and claim completion. Yeah, so this gets shared. Now black has a good field for 6 points, and I'm saying good because, you know, in these close positions, like 6 points is actually a lot. Well, it seems to me that what's going to happen is that the player with the green meeple is going to put their monastery over here. Even though it creates a field connection, it's a blockable field connection. And I guess lawyer is going to take a 6-point city or a 6-point field over here, you know, whichever you choose. And then perhaps the Polish player is going to take the 7-point road or something like this. Well, he chooses the city. Yeah, nice tile for the Polish player that he manages to do this. Ooh, and quite a useless tile for the... No, I missed this field. Wow, that's brilliant. Which is why the... you see, lawyer should have thought, because he had a blocking move. Knowing that there is this 6-point spot, instead of placing this tile over here and getting +1 and -6, he should have added this tile over here to block the 6-point field. And then this would force the player with the green meeples to take a 3-point field rather than 6-point field. Let's see if this misstep cost something. Oh no, it was the difference was very big because of this city over here. But I wish that this move was decisive because it can be very instructive sometimes in order to maximize the points that you gain in the exchange of your last moves. You need to know which tile your opponent has, so that yeah, the correct move, of course, was to put over here. Sometimes to block point scoring opportunities is more important than actually scoring yourself. Not that this mattered a lot, but I thought this was a pretty interesting thing. Okay, well done, Tomasz. And now the score is 2-1. For Ukraine. And so we're getting a close match, which is exactly what I want. I think we all want that. More Carcassonne. I guess then... Wait, how about... What's happening over here? Aha, so Zaharik is playing the decider against Zbigniew. We might have a look at this. What about Neanderthalica? Ooh, and they lost. Oh yeah, and they're still playing a decider. I kind of want to watch them. Wait, what do I not understand? Why are they not playing? Was there a time issue or something? Ah, no, they won with a draw. Of course you told me about this. Sorry, I'm being silly. Okay, so we have Zaharik and Fanalex, and let's see how far they are. 9 minutes. So basically Poland needs to win... Yeah, I guess let's just watch those guys again. I'm just being a bit indecisive today, sorry about that. Too many interesting games, can't watch everybody. Okay, at first sight it looks to me that Ukraine is winning the match. Because unless this city is being completed soon, like, this meeple is vulnerable. This meeple is sad. There's this coin flip that they will need to win. Red has the field. Red has the long unblocked roads. It's almost like Settlers of Catan instead of Carcassonne. Yellow's gonna win with longest roads. Lots of high variant stuff. So you see now, like, Krzysztof obviously going for this city over here. Well, they have a 50% chance of doing so. So they're now risking hard, which they have to do. Not sure if that was... Actually, not sure if that was necessary with this move, but maybe. Yeah, so they're just now going to do everything, just confine the whole game for this tile. Ooh, risky. I would not do that, actually. Like, when there's more city caps that have been already played, it's okay to leave a city cap for your opponent, because if your opponent gets a big tile like this, then they get to block 2 meeples pretty much permanently. As you see, the 3 out of 4 starting tiles, the city caps with the road, are already out, which means that this spot is much more vulnerable than it normally would. And also, green would need this meeple to attack this field, perhaps. So you see, yeah, if you're Krzysztof, you want to go over here. And now, of course, yellow will complete the block. Told ya. When you're trailing behind, meeples are pretty valuable, which is why in this situation, instead of saving his own meeple, yellow chose to freeze down the game, and they completed the block over here, and also yellow won the coin flip over here. And I think we can congratulate Ukraine now really with the win in this match now. That's good, yeah. Of course, green needs to risk hard, but that's the problem, that he needs the same to win the same coin flip in both places, right? So and then also win the coin flip here. It's just too much. The Ukrainian player can proceed in many ways. You can just start a new city, maybe add 1 point to one of his features, or he could even neutralize this meeple over here. He could put like he could drop a field meeple right here. Actually, that's what I would do. He would remain for a long time without without meeples, but what does it matter when you're 22 points ahead? Let's see if we can watch 2 games at the same time. That would be nice. Well, here the Ukrainian players also looks like they have a big advantage, at least on the scoreboard, plus 20. Well, they are losing this shared city. Well, not shared, they're losing this city. Actually, quite by a healthy margin. This city is not very likely to be completed, but there's non-zero chance of that happening as well, because one of these tiles is still in the game. That could fit over here. On the field side, though, it's tied, so anything could happen. At least this one seems to be a bit closer. Oh, Krzysztof, check this out. In the meantime, Krzysztof got this, spicing it up a little bit. And I think on their next move, going to this position, Krzysztof would, if he gets any row tile, he can actually win this game. Unbelievable. I think it's like it could really happen. Check this out. If he gets any row tile, drops a second field meeple here, and then gets the monastery and wins the field entirely. Is this gonna happen? This could happen. Oh, that would be such a finish. It's not like I'm rooting for it or anything, but it's fantastic how, like, there's in even most desperate positions, there are non-zero chances hide. Somehow the players managed to equalize. I'm really not on the scoreboard. In the Krzysztof versus Fan Alexey game. Yeah, that's dislike playing many top players. Yeah, I will not stream these matches for obvious reasons, because I kind of need to be there tomorrow. And the Russian game is a little bit too early. Hope you can catch it on the Russian stream. Poland, Ukraine, that's going to be such a match.